So if you print your bridge and you find that it's above the 30-gram limit, you may need to try to reduce its mass by actually taking out sections of the bridge. A nice way to do this is to use the offset tool on sections of your bridge and offset by around a couple millimeters. You don't want to do too much or your bridge will be really thin and weak, but if you don't do enough, it actually won't make much of a difference to the mass. So I like around 2 to 3 millimeters. And you want to use the dimension box down here at the bottom right to make sure they're all about the same. And then you can just use the push-pull tool to push that surface through to the bottom. And if you don't go exactly correct, it actually just sticks out the bottom and doesn't really make an opening. Alright, so if I do this again and push down a little bit slower, I should get to a place where it'll actually erase the entire surface, and now I've got a hole through the bottom. And that'll obviously reduce the mass because that's a lot less plastic. To do this on an angled piece sometimes can be a little bit trickier. So if I try this up here on this one, again I'll use the offset tool. And I'm going to offset by the same amount, which was 2.7 millimeters. So right there. And this time, as I try to push it through, it doesn't actually erase. And you can see it started to go through a little bit more on the bottom, but not quite as much up here at the top. In fact, it doesn't even go all the way through down there. So to fix this, we're actually going to push it through quite a bit more than we need so that it's coming into the other space. And we can use a technique called intersect faces. And you can do that by triple clicking, so double clicking and then another click. And you should select the entire bridge by doing that. If you can't figure that out, you could also just zoom out and draw a box with the selection tool all the way around your bridge to select all the pieces. And then we'll right click and go to intersect faces with the model or with the selection. Either one is fine because we've got everything selected. And that'll actually create an edge now where these faces were touching. So that now with the eraser tool, I can erase these lines that were sticking out. And I can erase this middle section. And now I have a hole that goes through. So that can be a little bit more complicated, but if you work through your bridge and erase these sections, you're still going to have the same design and the same structure, except we're reducing the mass now by taking out these sections. So that can be a great way to actually go through and reduce the mass of your bridge.